Welcome to another story. Tonight's episode is called The Night Shift by Connor Gatchell. My name is John, and I work at this little convenience store on the side of a road. I won't bore you with too much detail, except that the only way to get to the store is by car. I was working late one night, and not to sound like a complete cliche, but I was all alone. It was at around 1 in the morning, and I was half awake. At this point, I thought I was about to pass out. So, as quickly as I could, to not miss any customers, or so no one robbed the store, I ran back, got some coffee real quick, and didn't even wait for it to cool off before drinking it. Then, after I put some ice in my mouth, I walked back out into the store. And that's the first time I saw him. The man. He was just standing in the doorway. I didn't even hear the bell ring. I was so startled. I was even more frightened by his appearance. His clothes were tattered and ripped, and his face was bruised, a little bloody, dirty. His hair was greasy. It looked like he hadn't changed his clothes or taken a shower in months. He startled me. For customer policy and for common sense, I walked up to him and asked if he was okay. He just stared down at the ground at his feet. He looked disappointed. Or if he didn't hear me. It still chills me to this day. What this man... I asked him again if he was okay, but louder this time. And once, with motion, he just peered his head up to meet my eyes. It startled me. It was so quick. Then he looked at the freezer and walked over and got a bottle of soda. I ran behind the counter. He walked up, placed the bottle on it, and then he pulled out a 20. And I asked him if he wanted change, and he just stood there like he was lost in thought. Placed the dollar on the counter and walked out with his soda. I was worried. I thought that he had a mental disability or something. I immediately thought sympathy for him. My brother had a mental disability. I watched him go out of the store just so he got to his car or his chauffeur's car safely, and then I realized something. This guy must have been crazy, because there was only one car out there, and it was mine. I quickly ran around the counter and out the door. To my surprise, he was gone. I was so confused. I called out for him, but no response. I didn't know what to do. I was so frightened. Could have that all been a hallucination because of how tired I was? No, if it was a hallucination, then where would I have gotten the 20 from? The 20. It had a name written on it. The name was mine. I was thinking, okay, this is some sort of joke. Some sort of sick, dementive joke. But then I thought about it even more. He could have just written my name when he saw my name tag in his pocket, I guess. I don't know. I'm still questioning some things about this. I placed my hand on my chest just to feel my heartbeat. But then I realized I wasn't wearing my name tag. It's safe to say that I was wide awake for the rest of the night. The next morning, when my boss walked in to tell me that I could go, I told him immediately about the guy and showed him the dollar for proof. My boss, being a suspicious type of person, he walked into his office and looked at the surveillance footage. I forgot there were cameras in the place. Feeling relief, temporarily. I thought that we would see this guy walking up with buddies, beating him up so that he would look all crazy from outside, but we checked the whole day. He wasn't there. No friends, no nothing. Then we get to the point where I walked back into the break room to get some coffee. I watched in horror as the guy jumped down from the ceiling, landing on the mat in front of the door. That's why I couldn't hear a bell. He was in the room the whole time. Who knows how long he was up there watching me. My boss immediately called the police, showed them the surveillance footage, and what they told me was absolute horror. They told me that the man was a known pedophile, accused for charges of rape, kidnapping, murder. Basically everything that would give you a death sentence. This guy was dangerous, and just knowing that I was in the same room with him. Good God. And his motives. He wouldn't even let his victims see him coming. That's why I looked disappointed. I didn't even have to make an argument about giving me a raise and no more night shifts to my boss. In fact, ever since then, the store has been closing at around 8-ish. Just about the time it gets dark. I know it's not convenient anymore, but hey, it's safer. I wish that this story ended right there. That I could just drop all of it, but no. It gets worse. About a month later, the whole incident has left my mind. I left the store at around 5 o'clock from the next guy to take the shift. Exhausted, I walked into my house just hoping that I could grab a bite to eat and go upstairs and lie down for a while. But when I walked into the kitchen, I heard a crunching sound beneath my feet. Glass had been broken. The window. Something came in through the window. There was glass on the counter. And food everywhere, like some sort of raccoon broke in. It's safe to say at this point I was pissed. I grabbed some gloves, a trash bag, and boots just to be safe. And I started cleaning everything up. But then I picked up an apple. My fears started to settle in once again. My heart was racing. The apple, it had a bite out of it, but not a bite of an animal. It was like a normal human bite. Someone broke into my house. Just the thought of someone else being in your home, it's unimaginable. I dropped everything. I was about to run to my phone on the wall to grab, to call the police, but then I looked outside. My gut told me to look out there. Outside of the window, with the glass broken everywhere, I saw him again. He was smiling right at me. It was unnatural. My God, I thought his teeth would pop out. I ran upstairs and didn't even notice that the door was slightly ajar. He kicked it open and started rushing up the stairs after me. I went into my room, locked the door, and pushed my dresser up against it. All the while, the man was banging on it, screaming, "Let me in, goddammit." I was so scared. I had no idea what to do. I had a gun for protection, but it was out in the hallway. I know I should have kept it in my room. The only logical thing I could think of was to jump outside of the window. I was on a 2-story floor, and there were bushes. I thought I could make it. I did make it, of course, but I had a fear of falling, not a fear of heights, but I was so scared that I was going to crack my neck. But I kept repeating to myself, which is better? Dying from a man or dying from jumping off of a 2-story house? Jumping out the window actually did sound better. I got on the ledge, about to jump, but my fear held me back. God damn it, I whispered to myself. But my fears were suddenly released when I heard a gunshot right behind me from the hallway. I didn't jump, I fell. Right into the bushes. Miraculously, I was okay. For a split second, I felt joy. But I felt fear again after I heard another gunshot. I ran right across the street to my neighbor's and banged on the door at least 20 times before my neighbor actually opened up. I felt like I was blessed by God that he did. The police were immediately contacted, and they found him in my house, still banging on the door, trying to break in, with 2 bullet holes straight through the door. He was taken away. After 5 years of running from the police, he was actually taken away. I consider myself lucky to be alive, and lucky that I have such a story to tell. I just know that that man is burning in hell right now. But to everyone who's listening to this, make sure to always lock your doors and be aware of your surroundings, because you don't know who or what kind of mad person is planning something.